Scorpio full moon reading. We're gonna drink a lager while we're fucking recording this because duh. Happy Scorpio full moon. This is like the perfect time for me to film this message. Mainly because we have totally reclaimed Taurus season for ourselves in such a major way. I mean, I can't be outside of the Taurus club. I can't be wounded with the Taurus energy because I am in fact a Taurus moon in the 12th. So this has been huge for me. But right now, just to give some general context and then to bring us into the message of this major full moon happening tomorrow at about noon, close in between the noon and 1 o'clock hour. Tomorrow is May 12th, 2025. You can watch this whenever you fucking feel like it. You also can watch it under the charge of the Scorpio full moon in the future. But man, the flower moon, I mean, this is truly like a actual moment in time in which I'm blossoming into my own sovereignty as a person. Like right now, we just like made a decision in the sand about what our boundaries are, like what we now have identified under the Scorpio full moon, like what is teetering into self-harm, self-sabotage behavior, 111, and what protects like our 9 of cups, like what's inside of our emotional well, what actually protects like our renewable energy. And so much of that work came from, like I said, the journey of this channel. Like if you've been really rolling with me for real and have really been radically transforming alongside us, infinitely in on yourself with all of the available materials here with the archive. I mean, wow, you probably feel exactly like I feel. It's just a breath of fresh air. It is such a light and free feeling. There's so much space that I actually have right now that I think when Scorpio Taurus energy activates and you actually have space, room, and well-being, oh my God, you know what I mean? It's like, I was telling Dennis on our walk, I was like, it feels like we're even gonna hit the Pangina, because like,
we're getting, I feel like it's like we had her on the charge edge. I'm like, where we're at.
So, you know, I mean, it's Scorpionic, like, right? Like, it's like the things that help keep us protected. And 213, I just saw, I just feel so much elation where it's like there's sovereignty, because I also can acknowledge that like my relationships and the dynamics that I have do not have to be that of others. And I also have just been so blessed by the universe from this entire lunation cycle since you saw the honey new moon, Taurus new moon energy, and the experience. It wasn't even like a seed we planted, it was like the experience that was ready for us under the Taurus new moon. And seeing where we are now and how we've held that up is just like astronaut, like just talk about so held by the universe for the long-term investments we have put in ourselves. You know, my husband and I, and so we are really just living that Miller fucking high life, like, you know what I mean?
Like,
and
just opening up spaces, but making them like
help
so much more wider, like just expansive energy, like
exactly
taking in, getting in the arc,
opening up the fucking pit for the guys. You know, we did so much landscaping under this beautiful weekend, full moon weekend. I mean, it's just been beautiful. We've been in the middle of storms. We've been picking up shit. We've been like having like so much fun with the compost and the rotting sensation. And like a lot of that comes with shadow integration, like being able to sit with our own compost or sit with our own waste, you know. And it's been amazing. But again, right now, this is a real moment in time that I'm archiving, like historically, because my husband and I, like I said, we made a boundary today. Because maybe today for other people, they'd be recognizing other things, but we had to really wake up and radically be like, well, our day needs to be tailored to what the fuck we're on. Yesterday we were in Taylor, Texas, Tailored Gang. But this weekend, this Scorpio, I feel like this Scorpio Taurus axis is like tailoring, like fine tailoring straight up. Like it is actually like really like seriously curating your shit specific to yourself. So that you have the best fitting life. And I feel like we've had that experience right now. You know, we have been with like just people that are like extremely solid and also really reflect a lot of like the journey that we're on. So we've had support in astronomical ways that we like have never had. Again, these are all channeled messages. You might be resonating with that exact experience as you're listening to this back, but to really open our eyes to see that like truly, like I said, with the Scorpionic axis, you know, going through the underworld, there's so many keys about like what you have the right to do when you actually embrace Scorpio, when you actually embrace like the realities of what the archetype is meant to serve. So I wanted to come and I wanted to make sure that like, because I have this beautiful window of time to give like the craziest, cuntiest, best Scorpio full moon incoming message, like because it's rising tonight, it's technically tomorrow, so we're gonna have this beautiful week of just like movement and manifesting miracles. We're not even talking about the propaganda. Like, that's not even what I'm on. I'm actually just talking about like the full moon, really bringing in like the like light of the moon at this week, and just like I feel like it's a great time because of the harvest of what specifically the Taurus new moon set out and showed about the new world paradigm and the new reality that we're in. But yeah, right now I don't want to put any programming in this messaging because this is like extremely sensitive time for me. So I'm not here to trigger anybody with any like dogmatic beliefs about what we should be talking about right now. Like right now I'm just going to be, like I always do, reflecting on me and what I'm doing with my now moment to create my future in the way that I'd like, and in the way that is, you know, in alignment with the cycles in the Most High. So right now I'm giving this message that, like I said, the things that are always going to be consistent on my channel are the changes of the cycles, and that's it. And so today, outside of, you know, following, I think we just get yet another example of why we ejected from matrix timing. Like, we're not honoring the Gregorian calendar. We're not honoring, you know, this artificial outside of time calendar that we've made that kind of governs when it's time to do things outside of like when we feel like doing things. And I feel like that's also something that we might be feeling with this Scorpio full moon, which is like the things that we have created within the narrative and how they correlate with like what actually happens. And a lot of times if that correlation is equal and opposite forces, then why do we set up a world of cognitive dissonance? Why do we set up a world where it's like, specifically when I want to do one thing, like specifically when I need to sleep, forcing myself to be working or forcing myself to be engaging with people I don't like specifically when you need one thing and then do the opposite of that. I think that's very Taurus Scorpio axis, because we're going to get the effects of that, you know. And so the way that we hold personal value will also translate in the way that we navigate the 8th house, you know, when it is time for things to be sort of repurposed, you know what I mean? And so again, how you deal with yourself is how much, like some of you, like I said, or not some of you, but like themes of this time was like throwing yourself into the garbage disposal, like throwing yourself into the disposal of like what's going on for yourself to be ground up. Like that's an experience that you can see people who struggle with self-sabotaging behaviors could be playing out at this time, right? And you'll just go down the tilt-a-whirl drain with the experience that you're having, you know, with this understanding that, you know, I don't have to self-sacrifice. And if you can confront Taurus and Scorpio and realize like I don't have to sacrifice myself, like if you can be around a Taurus energy, right, and still feel valuable in yourself even though they govern value, and if you can also still be around Scorpionic energy without killing yourself off or like staying true to what your cycle is just because other people are jumping off a cliff or you jumping off a cliff, like it still needs to be a decision that you're making for yourself. If you can hold that sense of self in the eye of this like beautiful storm, I mean, you will come up and out like we are doing right now and just be in the joy and true gratitude because you have mastered what I would consider letting all aspects and elements of yourself convene at one time to create your living experience in the best intention and curation. And then now you're alive. Now you're, you know, in flow. Now things make sense. Now you find yourself being, you know, so caught and so held by this universe instead of, you know, in the way of it. And so all of those things are off the top downloads of, you know, this Scorpio full moon. But I felt like right now, Dennis and I are literally in a portal of moving from the joy and gratitude into alternate realities. Like we now get the opportunity. I want to document being able to do magic online with this reading because we are literally getting an opportunity now to go through portals that are like available to us because we literally, in the space that we would have been continuing the karmic loop, we broke the loop today. Like right now, like I said, there's a fly on my phone, right? That's why we're drinking a Miller Lite instead of doing the fucking propaganda, because the day is what it is for me. It's not what it is for the guys, for the girls, for the gays. What it is for me every day. You know, it's what it is for you every day. And so if it's got to be if this logger is protecting my peace right now and giving me clarity, I see a finch, bro. We were talking about the finch spirit, you know. But if that is really what is protecting all of the value that I really possess, then pour me a drink, pour me a lager.
Pour me a lager type shit, bro.
You know?
Yeah.
We got great frequencies. We've got our fucking parakeet frequencies. But yeah, we're popping into alternate realities, right? It's about to get really fucking alien on camera. So I'm just so excited. We're going to do a nice oracle overview. We're going to get into the Aquarian tarot specifics. But oh my God, dude. That's what I'm saying. Everyone is going where there's joy and gratitude and prosperity. Everyone has different gifts. Everyone is called in every moment to step in and play their part. And we're needed in different places. People have different strengths, you know what I mean? But just like it can be medicine for something, can be medicine for me, it can be medicine for someone else. So just stay open and don't, again, like the people that are going to do the best at this time are the people that do not actually struggle with constantly only seeing life as an opportunity to have control. That type of frequency right now, sheesh. There's no need. There is no need, you know? And so for my friends who are joining in on what Dennis and I are doing, which is just like, you see those flies who are doing the cameo thing? Crazy frequencies. But for Dennis and I, that's kind of the frequency right now. Is like, we want to be able to like experience all the fruits and the benefits of, you know, the Saturnian release of control that we constantly move in. And so magic is able to happen when you actually have this whole understanding of yourself. Like, have you ever jumped into a black hole, like actually holding yourself? Right? Because for once, when you honor your wholeness, that you have light and dark and everything in between, then you finally understand that, like, my emotions need to be validated. Like, that's another opening message, is like, if you're emotionally validating yourself fully, your positive and negative emotions all at the same level without giving any of them more or less value, but rather just seeing them as things that are derived from experiences that you are having, and then just deducing what experiences we should keep creating and which ones we shouldn't keep creating. Like, that's what you're being asked to do. That's what Scorpio does. That's literally what Scorpio does. So if, at this time, if we were to envision ourselves in alignment with this 1111, in alignment with the Scorpio archetype, it would be, I'm going to take an emotion. Let's say my emotion is anxiety. And what a Scorpio is literally built to do is to take anxiety and the information and context surrounding it, derive how well and supportive that is for our overall health, our holistic health and well-being as a sovereign individual, and decide if that anxiety will be conducive to the next highest step for us. And whatever transforming that needs to happen with the stinger of Scorpio will let it happen, is what Scorpio says. And that's all Scorpio is doing constantly, nonstop, is taking emotional matter, and transforming it into the desired outcome, into what you really want, right? Wholeness and self-knowledge, you know, when you actually look at the information that is on yourself, the authentic blueprint of who you are, that is the number one gateway to get you into wholeness. When you know yourself, it is easy to initiate that wholeness journey. Some people are here learning about themselves even still, and we have let them take the space to go learn about themselves. Because many people also, that's really what it is. A lot of disharmony, dis-ease is that people it's been sacrificed. I saw the 1225 frequency when we were on our walk earlier. We saw the 1225 frequency. But a lot of people have been sacrificed at this time to not get to know who they are at a deeper level, other than like government name from whoever the fuck gave birth to you. And then all the shit that they want you to finish off for their shit. Right? And that's pretty much it. And so when we talk about this Scorpio full moon and the energetics of what's happening at this time and how to really embody leadership at this time, me and Dennis have led by getting to know ourselves at such an interdimensional level, at such an interdimensional plane, that we actually can holistically reclaim every part of ourselves and use it for, oh my God. I'm documenting this because my leadership through this transition, like being the person who's like, okay, I'm going to go first. I'm going to show you my own crucifixion. I'm going to show you all the things that come up against me. I'm going to show you all the things I had to face, my biggest fears, you know, that I'm just someone who wants these things to be true. It's not actually true. I'm not actually self-actualized. I'm not actually self-aware, right? That's my biggest fear, is that going into work that is obviously spiritually derived, like in terms of like the health of like your eternal nature being like health, that's what Tethered Studios does. But what if my biggest fear is actually that these are aspirational things that I can't actually embody, right? And so how do I combat that? Well, the way that I've recorded and documented my reclamation of my physical reality and my mental health, right? I do those things in tandem, right? They're one and the same, you know? How well I can process and handle the mental realms, right? The higher upper chakras has to do with how in my root I am, how grounded I am. And so now, as these waters have turned up, as God prophesies that the floods can come, right? The energetic floods can come. And whenever there's energetic flooding, when you have that full body system, you know you aren't going to float. You know you're anchored in your truth. And you won't just be swept away into the cosmic primordial soup with everyone else, feeling like you can never retrieve your grounding. And so to really lead at this time with that proof, which is like, there's not really going to be a shortcut. It doesn't even mean that because I made this archive, that I could avoid any of the moments that I also had to document the last several years that I've been doing this. It just meant that the outcome when I rise again after all of those experiences will be whatever I have created myself into being. And if that is someone who is of high integrity, high self-value, high self-esteem, and is deeply connected to Creator Prime Source, because this portal right now, this me being like, let it be, bro. Let shit just be. Like I said yesterday on my written message, I would encourage everyone to do absolutely nothing. Be exactly where you feel like you are. Like, in fact, wake up today and don't do anything. Don't respond to anything that would pull you in a certain direction because of an obligation. Let what you actually go do well from what you feel like is just, because that is where justice is. That is where karma and balance is. Where what is reaped is what is sowed, and so on and so forth. Like, that is where we really want to be. That's how we really know what is happening to people karmically. Like, if I woke up this morning and I did not feel like contacting anyone, right? Then I wake up and I don't feel like contacting anyone, right? Rather than giving myself that next step that says, like, here's an incentive for doing that, or here's a way to go into movement, or here's something that can show you that you should move in that direction. Rather than just being, right? If I'm just being myself, like today, I had a crazy morning, made a proper oatmeal situation for the whole household. We went crazy, homemade granola, like basically oatmeal berry bowl, right? Type of frequency with granola, berries, bananas, and oats. Delicious shit. And then after that, we got yaddy blasted, easy weezy on the keezy. And the guys watched a proper episode of Catfish to do the proper Scorpionic full moon thing, right? Which is looking at these relational dynamics, right? Yeah, what do we need to let go of? What needs to be grounded up? And having that
and break it up, like, yeah, what is good with y'all shit?
And we had that group dynamic, that group purge, and then it was like, okay, when that started getting too fucking television, we're gonna go hit a fucking walk. We went no phones, no nothing, fucking nocturnal navigation. This is not our neighborhood. This is, I mean, it is actually, that's a lie. But we let the winds guide us, and we went on our, several miles long, unaccounted, like iPhone can't track it in the fitness app. You don't get any clout for it other than the presence of it. When you put that much put into, also we re-landscaped their entire backyard the other day. Now the whole thing's proper. We got a table, chairs, cushions, everything out there. It's like we're ready for the projector on the wall. So, we did all of that under this lunation. It's been mounting, and we've been staying lifted in the inner rim while doing so. And it's all because of our root message for the Scorpio full moon. This is what's fucking happening, bro. Light is manifesting under this full fucking moon. Why wouldn't it be able to?
Yeah.
The light reflecting off of the water of this earth, right? The way that water particles hold light in their molecule and reflect light, that light is able to ground in Taurus's earth. We are manifesting light this Scorpio full moon. That's what we're doing. We're manifesting the dreams, miracles, aspirations, and things that the guys who have stayed steadfast in what they would really want, that's what you're getting. I just had a huge deja vu because we're right in alignment. It's not even like a deja vu, it was just like a warp. But again, what if I told you I was someone who was trying to lead on manifesting light at this time? That's it. And I think another big thing that comes too, we talked about that dynamic of policing at this time too, with this aspect. Let me just go ahead and make sure to make a PSA. There is nothing you are not an officer. You're not a cop. You're not. That is never going to, it doesn't even matter really if people are going through some crazy fucking shit. If it's not you, YOU, don't even, this is not the lunation to even worry about it. This is not the lunation to even worry about it. The guys could be being done proper. They could be being done in by karma, but it's never, because it really will always be a waste of time to emotionally evaluate things that other people are doing, things that other people are going through, when you in fact are going through something all the time. So another big PSA at this moon is let's not even exhaust it, because Taurus and Scorpio doesn't even have energy, space, or time to exhaust the cop narrative. They don't. Taurus and Scorpio are not the good cop, bad cop. That's like the crime scene. So let's see what's crossing. Oh my God. The only people under the Scorpio full moon that are going to be able to manifest light are the ones with divine connection. It will be proven. It will be proven. Because if you don't have a divine connection, there is no light being manifested. divine connection being maintained through, though, your divine masculine. A lot of these low vibrational divine masculines, which would not be divine masculines, they would just be masculines. If your male power is out of whack, this is that devotion to your higher power, right? This is where our masculine energy should be being put. Devoting to our connection, because if you let go of the connection, that's when life becomes meaningless. That becomes like when you get resentful because you're like, what are any of us doing here, right? That's when that sets in. And that can be fucking annoying as all hell, right? Because I think the other thing that I have been dealing with is a lot of people want to get in my face and be like, I have a divine connection too, you know. I ain't got a close bond with God too, you know. Okay. But that's not even something you would even have to be addressing. You literally just need to have this. In order to have the ability to manifest life, you actually have to have a divine connection. How do you get a divine connection? Your divine masculine has to tend to that. Has to. Has to be obedient to it. Oh my God. Because the only dreams coming true under this Scorpio full moon are the ones you willed into being with the divine will. That's it. You will know that. Whatever dreams are coming into you are the ones you will. Would you mind just turning it down like half a notch? It's going to pick that up because my microphone is pointing. Anywho, I'll be done recording shortly. But the only dreams that are coming into truth at this time are the ones that have been willed by you and the divine. And like I said, it would have had to have been willed. There would have been a process where this is what I have to be doing. So, a lot of things happening. But I just feel like that. Hey, you two.
There's nothing.
Okay, they're just speaking. That's what I'm saying. So, big portals, big 11-11 portals, big things. But again, it has to come from the rising from the ashes, right? You would be rising to meet your manifestation in the now point, right? That's the Scorpio full moon. Holy shit. Because in the recent past, when it was grounding, it required you to take action. Through the fire. You have to move through the fire. That's the other thing that we were talking about. You know, when you get sunk into the underworld, like from the Taurus new moon to the Scorpio full moon, when we got pulled into that sort of underworld hellscape of our own shadow, of our own darkness, right? When we get pulled into those caverns, the idea is that you move through the 7 circles of hell. You move through that experience because you're aware you're there to get something, but also if you don't move through and become anew, if you don't transform, we were just talking about this on the walk. You can either choose to mold yourself into a beautiful vase of clay pottery and then go into the kiln and then become this emulsified, beautiful new vase. Yeah. Do you see the frequency?
Yeah.
Or you can just sit in hell and fucking burn.
Type shit.
That was the recent past. Because as the new earth was grounding, what did you find yourself doing? What did those around you find themselves doing? And how did that influence what choices you were making? Hopefully it didn't influence at all. Hopefully you're at that place where you're like, I have to do me. It has to be about what's best for me.
Period.
It has to be. Because, bitch, this is about creating with our talents. I feel like the Scorpio full moon is saying, for me, like, this is the radical, like, affirmation and roar I'm saying is, I have talents. I will not be shrinking my talents any further. For you girls who just want it to be that I don't have the talents that I have, which could never be the reality. You know what I mean? Could never be the reality. Hey. Good kids. So, could never be the reality. And in fact, all that was ever really happening was that I was creating something. This is something that I have created. This is a life, a reality that I willed into being. A creation that will manifest through my will. And how did I build it? Through my divine connection. Yeah, that's what the things that are coming into you under this full moon, that's what they're going to have the nature of. It's like, wow, this must have really just been something that we created beyond the veil. in order to manifest it, we had to follow, our divine masculine had to be obedient to the blueprint, to the invisible map that the divine feminine was giving through this amethyst divine connection. Do you see what's happening? And in the past, like I said, you had to take action on that. And I just feel like that's a new talent you have, because these connections, this new cycle, these new creations, these big organisms that you've now birthed and created into this plane now are a part of your talents. And I just feel like this whole experience of this full moon is honoring that, you know, that whatever I get right now is a talent of mine. It's something that will be like the trophy that shows off what my ability really is. Because it's like if you're around new people that seem dreamlike now, right? Like, let's just use that as an example. That's the trophy on how magic your shit really was. Because when people ask you, how did y'all link up in life? And it's like, bruh, funny story. Created this shit in the ether. Had to fucking follow the clues to bring it down. And just trust that we had a divine connection. It's not a third dimensional one. It was a divine one. Yeah. Like my tour, like my guys, the sponsors, all the team, right? The whole team. It's like the way that the team will be proven connected. People will be like, what? How did y'all, this is so, like, kismet. Like, what happened? It's like, that's how we used our talents in order to do, because we all have a talent for the same thing. You get me? We all have a talent for the same thing. In the near future, thematics. Oh my fucking God, Dennis. This is how you have proper fucking Scorpio Taurus alignment. You should be at this time grounding in fucking inner peace. Can I get a fucking hell yeah?
Fucking hell yeah.
If you are sitting like we are literally sitting grounded right now at peace. We are waving the blue flag, red flag. It's like
we saw the blue flag on bro, we were seeing a lot of shit, bro. There was a lot of clear
fucking indications. That what the best thing to ground into at this time is your peace, Taurus Scorpio axis. Right? But how do you get to ground inner peace? You got to know yourself. When you wake up in the day, you know how you like to spend 24 hours a day. Doesn't matter what the guys are talking about. How you really enjoy to spend your 24 hours a day. Staying true to that is all God will ever ask you. Outside of social dogma, outside of the fucking flows and the currents that people want you to fucking go with and whatever, just know none of that actually is the derivative of your authentic truth. And you have the blueprint for what you authentically want to be doing to maintain the peace you have with it. You have it. And self-knowledge would help you at this time. Because self-knowledge is the reward you get from clearing karma with Saturn. You get knowledge. And when you have self-knowledge, it's education is the best thing. Education of self is the best thing in the world, because you'll never do the same shit. Because of the self-knowledge I've been rewarded from the past cycle that I've been through, there are certain things I'm literally now choosing not to repeat, and I can promise myself it will be better for me. And that there will even be a reward for me at the end of all this for doing just that. For now opening space for the things I do really want to happen instead of the things I'm just too scared to not do. Come on. Growth, baby. I'm sitting right. You guys are looking at a version of me that has really grown. I've really grown. I have really healed dynamics and really seen them clearly for what they are. And a lot of that I couldn't even do on my own, because a lot of it takes honesty. And I tell you what, people can be wearing masks, but it doesn't make a mask any less, like, some of us aren't like pet detectives. Some of us aren't actually out here trying to decode people's masks. Like, I don't have time for it. If you're all like me, you don't have time for it. If I meet somebody and you're wearing a fucking, I'm not Neve Schulman or whatever his name is. Like, I don't have time to meet somebody at the club, them give me some full-fledged lie, and me have, you think I got the time to fucking background check you? I don't. If you're wearing a mask proper, you're wearing a mask proper. That will come out to the surface without me even having to do anything, because I'm not going to do anything about it. I don't have the capacity to also uncover how many falsities people have been giving me. So when I got truth, which the Scorpio moon will always exonerate, it'll do the work for us. What's true? You know what I mean? And so, holy shit. The shit you prayed for, because, listen, every time this happens in the universe, you can have whatever you want and you can have it instantly. The only time you don't get a manifestation instantly is when you have to grow to the manifestation, become it, right? So in the interim of my growth, outside of me, what is manifesting is a dream that I prayed for. So a lot of times I pray for all this stuff and I'm like, God, what's wrong? What's wrong? And God's like, baby, you got to just keep changing to get it. It's not like you can't have it. You just have to be a different version of yourself, a more expanded, more conscious version of yourself to have that. And, you know, without all the judgment on my shit, bro, like, our bodies have changed in tremendous ways, regardless. It doesn't matter what ways they do, but it's like we've changed so much. And without all the guys giving negativity, it's like, oh, this is obviously the amount of change that needed to happen in order for us to, like, actually have a new beginning that reflects the dreams we've prayed for. So when we get mad or we have gotten mad along the way, like, what the fuck, bro? It hasn't happened yet. It's only as fast as we can go. Because you have to be able to manage the dreams that are coming down with your own abilities. You have to. Because who's going to do it for you? But God can give you the manifestation, but God's like not doing the shit for you. And in the fear space. This is what I'm talking about. Another big thing for Taurus Scorpio. The condition of the inner child. Having fears about how we've actually done our inner child, I think, is the thing that would have made you so apprehensive to what was happening, right? Because the inner child wanted to take you on this journey. It wanted to reconnect with its own sense of magic and wonder with the world. It wanted to develop the talents it's always felt it had. And it wanted to do it with the intention of an adult, you know? With the intention of a person who can make something like that happen. But a lot of people are fearing that at this time. A lot of people are fearing giving their inner child what they want and going on that journey to do so.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared of it. My husband wasn't scared of it. I wasn't scared of Tethered Studios to give my inner child something it wanted to be. Little Alexis is like, I want to be a director. I want to be a public speaker. I want to be all these fucking crazy things.
I'm not scared.
I'm definitely not scared to go on that journey.
Opportunity, yeah, I'm going to give it.
Exactly.
We're going to give it right, bro.
We're going to make sure the guys get what they want. What?
Exclusively.
That's the not even reparenting. That's just supporting the inner child. I don't even know if this child needs a parent. I just think it needs to be supported. Right. When we don't look at children as not whole, then it's start with supporting them and see what happens.
You might just get what you were looking for.
You get me? And the outcome is self-discipline and water. The water will flow on the self-disciplined because they are the leaders. The ones who broke the cycle so that the dam could flow. The ones who said, no, break the levee, clear the fucking clog so the river runs clear again, right? If there was an oil spill, the ones who cleaned up the ones who had the self-discipline to pick up after themselves, to not litter in the fresh water, yeah? Because it takes a lot of self-discipline for people, organisms in an ecosystem to stay in the fresh water supply and not fuck it up. So that it always looks like an oasis, yeah? We are all in the cosmic waters. And if all of us don't have any personal leadership activated at this time, we are not going to have the self-discipline needed to keep these things in the condition that they're in. Right? When I talked about the shit stains in the lagoon, you're seeing me in my non-shit stain in the lagoon era. I'm not doodling in the water, like straight up. I'm not doing that. When I get in the pool, it's still clean. It's still proper. Because I'm minding myself.
Yeah, like you said, we're not really on the fucking... It's not the ISIS shit, bro. It's not the fucking... that's like fake propaganda.
Right. It's not at this time to forget that we have to discipline ourselves, you know? Like I said, they will always say, no one told me. No one told me. Who told anybody? No one told anybody anything. It's derived from, like, trial and error. Like, when I'm not self-disciplined, like, the vital resources that I need are polluted. And then what? Then it's all just a mess. So we're going to talk about the Scorpio full moon. This is the pre-shuffle. We got it all proper. This is the message. Whatever we're coming out with is the message of the Scorpio full moon. For those who were self-disciplined, you're about to swim in the clearest waters. You're about to be cleaned up proper. Like, me and Dennis, we got back from our walk, which again was like several miles long. We were like, dude, we don't eat, like, we can be messy. Like, we can, in fact, that's what Scorpio is saying. Is like, you are deserving because your dirtiness is actually from self-discipline. Like, we just, like, went out, like, we're so tanned. Like, you can tell how tan I am. We're so fucking tan proper. Our skin is, like, pounded with sunscreen and, like, dried. Like, whatever, but we've just been like sun, so we just like are outside, type of vibe. But that self-discipline is like why the water that's coming for us with this Scorpio full moon is going to be so restorative. So let's look at the major arc. Finally making room for the alignment, the 3-3 alignment. The 3 of Cups clarified by the 3 of Pentacles. What are you vibrationally aligned to? This full moon asks you, who is your company? Who are your bitches, for real? Who are those people? Because I think you would have just came through a death process that revealed the truth. So all we are asking you to do on the Scorpio full moon is be like, who can you really build with? You don't have to do the impossible. Answer and just tell the truth of what's going on for you right now. I can't build in these partnerships, so I'm not going to. Oh my God. Because the 3 of Cups is the manifestation. So what I really feel like the Scorpio full moon is really manifesting is like divine, like it's like all soulmates, twin flames, like that kind of thing. Like if you're in alignment and you're open and receptive, I feel like you are going to align yourself to like people that are supposed to be equipped on your walk, like the group, the team, the people who attend your parties, the people who attend your company that you keep. That's what's manifesting. And it's a group that you created in your mind. It's whoever you said you wanted to create in your own mind. And then listen to your divine connection to figure out how to get those people to be exactly that. And through your divine connection, look how nurtured it is. Your divine connection is Empress, Knight of Pentacles. Which means you are like cultivating a whole network where you're basically like, take your time, no stress, just like planting seeds all over the place. So that when it's time, it all arrives in perfect alignment. But the Empress is running an empire. Do you need help, baby?
Yeah.
We had a hand wound.
Hand wound from all the yard work that we were getting.
From all the soil we were getting under.
But wow, look, and all my travel footage.
Yes,
all
baby.
Videos and everything, the clips, our trip.
So beautiful. So yeah. Empress, Knight of Pentacles. This is like, I'm sending out the invitation. This is the RSVP. I'm hearing that. I'm like literally getting that this Scorpio full moon for us. This is a me thing because I have the right to do this. Because like it's gonna be cool just to see this archived and how like I realize this is happening now. Dennis, like we have the proper party. 3 of Cups. Party for everybody. No, this is not the party for 2 anymore. We've already done all that stuff. This is like a regular party for 3 of Cups. Like this is like actually just a party you're throwing. Because it's had to been the party for 2 while you were clearing out. You see the birds agree with the frequency. While you were clearing out all the old, right? Because we realized that a lot of our old connections in our cycle pre-Saturn return were based on basically like the sources of our life, which would have been like our parents that we were born into this life with, physically. And so when we uproot that system, when we say, okay, it's not our parents' show, what are the things we would create as sovereign individuals? Now our divine connection has helped us get an empire built so we can send out this sort of like, hey, this is like, I'm eligible. You can come. Yeah, I'm eligible for this experience. And this would be the RSVP. This would be people being like, I'd like to come.
Yes.
And it has to do with the way that you willed this when things were messy. Like, this is when you had to it took self-will to emotionally reinvest. Because what gave you the strength to actually pick up 5 of Cups, take your focus from the mess and look at the success coming of this Scorpio full moon? Yes, there's what you're leaving behind, what cannot happen any longer, what is poisoning your water supply, what is just tarnishing the lagoon with doo-doo. Yes, there's that, right? But it's the truth that gives you the strength to do what you're doing right now, to do what I'm doing right now, to just be focused ahead on my 2 of Cups. The fact that I'm in balance with myself. You know what I mean? The fact that I am giving to myself in equal parts. Recent past. Look at this massively firm spiritual protection on this couple. We got you, bro. You can't come to this party. Y'all stay. Or this party can't come to you. You know what I'm saying? This is like the bodyguard that's like, look at you and like, you're a bitch. This is crazy. This is a celebrity frequency if I've ever seen it. Right? Is this not how a bodyguard would be doing all the... Oh my God, oh my God. That's literally what I hear when I see this. Look at all these people trying to take action. Everything you do, bitches are like, oh my God. Like, that's literally what the recent past was. You needed the divine to keep like, whoa, whoa, back up, back up, back up. That's what I'm literally hearing. Right? 3 of Swords. In hell, right? Because I feel like, yeah, in hell, people saw you guys when you were down there. You're not like the rest of the demons that are in hell not doing nothing. But Beelzebub and them just fucking hanging out. No, that's not you. You guys were in the pits making a move. Purifying this love. Making sure that we shouldn't be hurting each other, right? We should be pretty much fully aligned.
We should.
Like, this love shouldn't hurt. Girl, I'm working late because I'm a fucking genius. We say that every fucking video, bro.
Every fucking day.
Putting up the boundaries so you can keep the fuck, like, I'm, like, this, like, look. What you created just takes protection. It's not for the streets, you know?
It's not. She on.
It's just not.
It's not.
It's not for everybody. It's not for the wounded. It's not for any of that. It's 8 of Pentacles. It's a lot of fucking money. It's a lot of fucking value. It's a lot of fucking work. And it just takes a certain vibe to be able to drop in, you know? But again, like I said, I thank God for these 42 minutes because I needed to do 42 minutes of grounding. It's the Scorpio full moon. I don't want to leave myself or my girls unfed. Let's look at the recent near future. Oh my God. This ain't this some shit, baby. Wheel of Fortune. This is exactly this track I want to hear with this Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune right now? Oh, how it turns. Because what I'm getting is those who never had any peace and had to fight and deal with all of this awareness and integrate it are now grounding in a peaceful temple where they could deal with their issue. You see this? This is where that goes. When you got all this, the weight of the world on your shoulder, you come here and you can ground and be peaceful. And I feel like we rode the waves of Scorpio so beautifully because I feel like we asked for the help we needed from the universe. You know what I mean? We went up to the cows and we said, we need the medicine, bro. And the cow said, this is where you want to go, where you're going to be able to be at internal peace so that these 9 swords don't have to break you. You can be whatever because it's not going to change that the Wheel of Fortune is here for you. So all we would need to be doing, because I think that's what people didn't see. They were like, look at you, 9 of Swords, ha, 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 right? But what they don't understand is like, we're 9 of Swords, sure, in a minor arcana sense, but in a major arcana, we're at the Wheel of Fortune. You get what I mean? So let's look at the current position. The growth is actually walking away. Why did we walk away? Because me and Dennis were like, baby, this week we have the biggest of the biggest travels planned. Like, we have the biggest of the biggest shit going on. It's the 4 Wands. The reason we walked away and it took growth to do this right now, under this Scorpio full moon, the reason it takes growth to walk away, because you're changing experiences. You're saying, I want to experience something else now, actually. You're saying, okay, I've had enough of that same experience. It's okay, y'all. Holy shit. Now's the time that spirit can actually move us forward. Because what's happening outside of us? The dream lover situation. We've already dealt with the ways in which the lover archetype, has not gotten to live out its full dream of what it can be. Now spirit gets to take you there. Because you finally left the cycle. You've had the metamorphosis. When I see the butterfly card, the growth, to be in your metamorphosis under the Scorpio full moon, right? Your metamorphosis, your phoenix rising. Hey, you guys. That passionate new beginning, right? This is the fucking Scorpio full moon. Don't be scared of blossoming under this fucking full moon. So many people are. Why do people not walk away from fucking contracts that fucking piss them off and shit they don't want to do in life that's hard? Holy shit, bro. It's so crazy. The self-discipline you had has put you in your Queen of Wands. Like, that's what we're fucking finishing this shit out with, right? Is that you're a fucking Queen of Wands. You know? It took self-discipline to be this attractive and magnetic. It took so much, but now the evidence of the Knight of Cups coming to you is crazy, because I believe this would have happened either way. And I think without self-sacrificing, why don't you just see how many people want to write what it is either way? Not even just who wants to write it and that's what you're waiting on, but I just think you're going to be receiving stuff that I think you would have received either way. And I think sometimes when we think like, I have to do something to receive back equally from the universe, we go and like force ourselves to expedite things that don't even have to be, nothing has to be done. Because it would have, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I could have known I would have still been worthy of love, maybe I wouldn't have just rushed back to a cycle that I could have just let be closed. You get what I'm saying? So I just feel like this is like a party being thrown by the best host, the best, most attractive host, Queen of Wands. Because we started with the Three of Cups, right? And so the Scorpio full moon is about to bring in this fucking love offer, this full like love offer. So let's do a quick clarification. The Three of Cups, bruh. This is a counterpart. This is a reflected mirror. This is someone who's in a masculine creative energy, right? And they're sitting here wanting to watch and make sure, are you going to go backwards? Are you going to get on the boat returning back to the cycle you just left? Dennis and I for 47 minutes have been sitting here in the fact that we just let it be movement forward.
We didn't question.
We didn't go back to an old group because we knew there's a group that matches us. Like in a complement, 47. There's like there's like a reason we're not just like doing the same shit. There's like a reason we're not just like, oh, let's just like go back for the old group of people. Because we just left that. And we left it because it wasn't working out. And now it's like when you get courted, page of coins, page of pentacles. You get what I'm saying? It's a new cycle where the people you attract actually reflect your value, right? Versus receiving, because like I said, the Empress and the Knight of Pentacles is like I can throw the best party, I can host the best thing, and the people you want around for that need to really reflect your whole divine like abundance, birthright abundance. Because that's what I'm saying. That's what me and Dennis have, the Ten of Pentacles. And so all that Spirit was doing in this cycle with this whole lunation cycle was just making sure that like we emotionally reinvested from Five of Cups. Holy shit, Dennis. Reinvest. Like, look over here, because even if these people can't meet you where you are, but it doesn't mean that you don't have the full spectrum and that you can't create a scenario where there are people who reflect and give you the full picture you're looking for. Because I think that was the hard part. It's like I was so tired of living a life that had botches. Like I'm doing all this hard 10-10 frequency, right? I'm creating this whole life. I'm living this whole story out. And I just don't want there to be parts of it that don't feel up to par. Like it doesn't feel like it can match the frequency of my love that I give to the world.
It's pretty simple.
And so when the divine was like, no, I need to separate you, because just when you were going through hell, Alexis, when you were going through your crucifixion, you're not getting crucified like these other girls. You're not getting crucified like these girls who really like are non-believers, have like committed spiritual crime. That's not what you're there for. You're being crucified because of people's free will, right? Which is why you will always have this sort of victorious outcome over any endemic cycle, right? Oh my God, the Taurus new moon said that because when everyone else, the Taurus new moon wasn't easy for bitches, right? There was a cross, a grand cross, there was all types of tight energetics, 90-degree energy, you know, right angles. And for us to have been able to march into the end, like we had a graduation, like we had the Taurus new moon, that's the divine saying there are two types of bitches in this scenario. The Taurus new moon said there are bitches who are two of cups, and then there are bitches who are not in two of cups. And I think so many people have talked about love and romance and relating and whatnot, when a lot of them don't have that. And I feel like that's what the Taurus new moon also fucking filtered out with that Taurus Scorpio axis. It's like, yeah, but some of you don't actually have like real love at all though.
Right.
And it'll continue to brush up against that. Because the creation that we had, look, why don't we come and transform you and take 5 pentacles off this and just strip it back down to the foundation? Because I feel like the 9 of Pentacles is like the person that has enough money to supply, and really you're the source of that. Like that's how I feel. Like you're creating a life where like you are not just a supplier, you're the source of your own life. Like you don't even feel the need. Like I feel like the biggest transition I've gone through is that like I actually view myself and my sourcing abilities as something that's like meant for me to do for myself instead of something to like balance out in others, you know? And so I'd rather allow myself to have this sort of foundational experience rather than being a 9 of Pentacles, being like a bank of spiritual wealth. You get what I mean? So that's the nature that I continue to take this channel in. It's like moving from that sort of 4 of Pentacles grounded rootedness. Oh my God, the near future. Look at us moving straight forward. Yeah, we dropped the burden. Drop the burden, the parts of this shit that were like whatever, because we're maintaining inner peace. 9 of Swords, you can't keep somebody from that. What they've caused, you can't keep it from them. You know? Yeah, 5 of Swords and people all left and right, you know? It's gonna lead to some sort of mental calamity when you're having to think about how much consciousness you've robbed. But for the people who have just been like victim to the action you just took, the best thing they can do is not take on a victim, like just see that for what it is, which is like, well, that person wanted a 5 of Swords somewhere. It doesn't actually have anything to do with my value. It doesn't have to do with what I even wanted to attract in that moment necessarily. It just has to do with the fact that like moving forward, like if you don't let something define you, then you tell the universe what it was and wasn't, you know, in terms of attraction. Clarifying the 8 of Cups with the growth. Oh my God, walking away from the devil, bro. Walking away from trying to build with the devil when you can, bro. To growth, bro. Doing fake shit for people, saying shit that people don't like. It's like, no. Let's just rely on what really is. Because on the outside of us are the dreams of the lovers. Oh my God. This King of Cups to the lover is about to like put in all that effort. That's what I'm saying. There's just so much. This is like a King of Cups powering this lover. It's like, oh, this is just something that needs to happen in the world. This dream, for this lover's dream. This is like, our wedding is sponsored. Or like, this is like, someone loves this love. It's like, bro, we need a 10 of Wands to support that. Right? Intuitively. And the fear, the 6 of Cups, exactly, bro. We don't give a fuck about being judged. We don't give a, like, when you really actually, like, transcend fucking giving a shit about what people think about you.
You're fucking up, bro.
You're not fucking up, you're fucking
up, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're fucking up, bro.
Just wanted to clarify in case girls thought that's what you meant. You're not fucking up. You're like, you're way up there. Because that's what it is. Today it says, I don't care who the truth hurts. In fact, every bitch should be coming from awareness. Every bitch should be seeing where I'm at and why I'm moving the way I'm moving. It's pretty A plus B equals C right now with me. But if you've ever hurt me in any way, you're definitely not going to get to be on the journey anymore. No. There's so much other stuff to do. It takes self-discipline for this beautiful, vivacious Queen of Wands to not enmesh herself in something that will just be a tower. I can take a hint. So watch me while I do. Take a hint. You know? Watch me while I take a real fat ass hint. Because I believe, like I said, it's not about is there a tower. You know when towers would happen for you. You know what I mean? Like that would just be a tower moment. Let's not do that. Type of frequency. And it takes leadership to do that. It takes leadership. 5551. It takes leadership. It takes self-discipline to not put shit in the water. That's it. That's it. So that's our Scorpio full moon message. Let's wrap this up in a bow so I can give you guys something. Like, I just love yapping and like giving the direct. I hope that resonated up until right now so that we can summarize all the beautiful happenings. Get another loggy.
I'm vibing.
So we're going to do a one message overview of what is the... Oh, shit. Takes courage to take action in this way, bro. But I'm proud of myself. Protection. Right now, the Scorpio full moon, if you're in alignment with this message all the way to these 57 minutes, you are going to be protected from doing something that you would just have to forgive yourself for later. This Scorpio full moon is going to allow you to forgive yourself. Like, you're going to be allowed to go do the thing that, like, might cause feelings of, like, I don't know how that felt, or I don't know that was good for me. But, and it will then, like, the Scorpio moon, full moon is, like, the perfect backdrop to, like, facilitate the breaking and the forgiving yourself of something. So that's happening. But also, if you really want to get on the fucking high life, like we're on, you can also start tapping into like protecting yourself from self-sabotaging to where you don't have to just like create situations where you're sorry. Because I'm not sorry.
We're not sorry.
Because I'm not even doing something that would make me be like, damn, Alexis, sorry you just did that to yourself. But let's get some final messages. Remembering your Taurus value and that being something that's real embodied is the best way for spirit to be able to move you forward. Right? Because I think your value is going to just speak for itself in terms of like who's now going to have to forgive themselves for how they treated you. Because everything you did, everything you were on, every move you made was just about protecting how valuable you really were. And that was it. Like for me, if anybody wants to worry about me, if anybody wants to figure out what's good, just know, like, I mean, anything I'm doing to you is just to protect how valuable my actual energy is. You know, if I'm loving and giving, it's because it would be in my best interest of like what my real value is as a human. If I'm, you know, distant and like not engaging, like that's just to protect the value, you know? Nothing is about, you know, the semantics or you or whatever. Nothing. This is beautiful. This Scorpio full moon, I'm telling you, you have value that you are not afraid now to, I don't care who it hurts. That's huge. It took a lot of strength for me to just do this. To disappoint people if that's what they're on. If my objective value is disappointing to you, then just let that be what that is. Because again, that's the not giving a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's going to be uneventful. At the end of the day, like, when we really talk about all these occasions and all this shit in life that mounts every cycle, what does it fucking matter? 6 of Cups. I'm really in a true soulmate connection. I don't give a fuck who that hurts. That's also how I feel about people that I'm trying to connect with. I don't really care about, like, letting that truth be known. I know my value, that's why I pursued you type shit. Final messages. The Death Parade, bruv. The Reaper in its trail is leaving your fantasy. We're at 1 hour with this shit. The fucking Reaper show is leaving that, bruv. Because we're leaving the mental calamity behind. Just be and do what you're going to do in this Scorpio moon. Because you're either making a mistake and you have to forgive yourself or you're not. But just do it so we can move on. Because I think that whole mental anxiety, which is just like non-movement. Because I think some people are so scared of like not looking perfect or not looking like the image they want, that they're not just making the mistakes you need to hurry up and make and move forward from. You know what I mean? Because they're just so scared to even like do something. Like, why don't you fuck it up because you're not that knowledgeable yet? You can't be scared of ascending your consciousness either with this Scorpio full moon. You can't be scared of a learning experience.
Yeah. Sometimes that's like exactly just what I mean.
Because the time between getting tapped in and finding out that there was more, that more was out there, you did so much work that needed to be done in order for you to seize and create this new opportunity for yourself. That's what really happened. The crucifixion process is needed when you have to make that much of a jump between where you are and how little belief you have, Page of Cups, to like, I'm now creating magic. You gotta believe in magic first. And that's why that Page of Cups found you. Again, the near future, 6-6, bro. You're about to move on and move forward because of what you're doing right now. You're gonna just fucking finish it. Exactly, and the crucifixion is gonna help you give an even, because the equal balancing of a crucifixion is a coronation. Whenever someone is crucified wrongly, they are to be coronated. That is spiritual law. And the way to bring this into you at this time that we were instructed was, again, to fucking walk away from shit that we keep filling up. I know that there's a lot of bitches that I can't keep filling up right now. I'm happy to like give in equal parts and give and take, but again, I can't fill anything up for you. And sometimes my sheer vibe alone will be doing that. Not even that someone's asked me, but if I go into a dynamic where the vibrations are off enough or the gap is wide enough in terms of frequential resonance, someone's doing something for somebody, and it's probably going to be the person of higher vibration who has more to give. Right? But we're not in 8 of Swords. We're not scared, bro, of our own value. Oh my god. Beautiful, but let's just get final card for the Scorpio full moon outcome. Oh my god. I just heard we skipped over the fucking hellhole. The Scorpio full moon's about to show you just how much you avoided a tower. You didn't create a tower. You know? How much you actually are thinking about the whole picture. This is proper creation. This is a King of Wands that doesn't burn up the place, bruv. Tower reverse. I'm not gonna torch you. I could create a tower and I didn't. Beautiful things. So, healthy masculine energy is the name of the game this Scorpio full moon. For our fucking actual divine masculines, this shit is your fucking coronation.
Wow.
You followed the fact that your divine feminine had your best interest at heart. She was trying to set you up to look successful. And you either followed her in a healthy divine, you either have a healthy divine connection with your divine feminine, so she actually set you up and you didn't like take the tower path. So now you're like, oh, great. Right? Because this is the story of the divine masculine and how what he's getting, because that's who's getting shown off right now.
Yeah.
By the Taurus season Empress, the divine masculine. Because non-divine feminines are not going to have the blueprint for what's best for you to do next, divine masculines. So they're going to lead you to tower moments. Because that's what they're scripted to do. You're not their divine counterpart. They want to destroy it.
They're not there to support that.
No. So, I think divine masculines at this time realize that the divine feminine would specifically have kept them away from a tower. something the divine feminine created, a guidance they gave to you, for you, provided you, service, whatever, would have actually at this time kept you away from a tower and kept you safe. Probably kept you like in a better position. Because you can actively see where there are that Scorpionic Mars influence right now. You could actively see where it could just be a mess. But you've been protected. It's going to be incredible healing between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, because she protected the divine masculine from doing something that he was just going to have to apologize to her for later, apologize to himself for later. That was her whole reason for telling you to move the way she was. Because I can think in my own life of people that I was like, look, I wasn't trying to be petty. I was just trying to tell you, bro, you're going to want to avoid the tower you're going to create with this scenario if you don't realize what's happening here. This ends in a tower. That's what a divine feminine would have told you. Do you want to experience towers? Yes or no? I mean, there's nothing to be scared of. Towers, towers, tower. But again, like I said, this Scorpio full moon is really a big honoring, because for the divine masculines that actually have their divine feminine and they're in union with them, they get proof under this Scorpio full moon that the divine feminine absolutely helped them avoid the biggest tower of their life. So happy Scorpio full moon. Happy Taurus season to all my Taurus placements out there. You're feeling that beautiful energy.